Okay, so here we are, Glasgow versus Helsinki. This is the fourth game. I had to do some mental arithmetic there. This is the fourth game of the first day of the European SMACKDOWN, Europe's first WFTDA recognised E1 tournament. I am, of course, the lovely Beatrix, and joining me on live stream today for the first time ever, it is...
Shut the Fred Up, actually, from Paris, live and direct from Malmö, actually. And it's the first game today for Helsinki and the second game for Glasgow. Glasgow had quite a defeat, actually, for the first game versus Crime City, the home team, the local team. 536 for Crime City to 46 for Glasgow. So hopefully they will try to give their best for the second game.
Yeah, and if you weren't able to join us previously, let me just recap some scores for you. This morning, the first game, we saw London versus Detroit. The scores there, London 345, Detroit 97. After that, we had, as just said, Crime City versus Glasgow 536 to 46. And just gone, it was the London versus Stockholm game. London 295, Stockholm 49. Now, don't forget, you can talk to us. You really can, Fred.
Yeah, through the hashtag #TalkToSmackDown on Twitter. 2 is the number, right?
2 is the number. Hashtag talk, the number 2, SmackDown. Come and share your views on the roller derby you're seeing here today.
And concerning the predictor, Helsinki is predicted to win at 27-22 point ratio. Helsinki has 68% chance of winning, actually.
68% chance of winning. Well, let's see if that does play out. Glasgow, of course, second game today. They've had, about an hour and a half break between this game and their last game. The scores were low against Crime City. Having said that, towards the end of the second half for the Crime City Glasgow game, Glasgow's defence certainly stepped up. They were looking much stronger. They looked like they'd really sort of pulled themselves into that game, and a lot of new faces on that roster, so all track time, I'm sure, is welcome for them, getting to know each other as a team. Despite the training that they're doing, they're also British champs, defending their title from last year there, so a lot of track time for this team.
Exactly, Crime City was at home, so obviously they had to play well for their audience, but you're right, at the end of the second half, the walls were very strong for Glasgow, and they showed good play doing some jams.
They really did. Okay, it looks like we're about ready to start. I'm feeling confident that we're about to go. I'm confident about roller derby. I'm not confident about anything else in my life right now, but that's okay, we'll get through it. Number 42, that is Marshall Lawless with the star on for Glasgow.
And it's number 88 for Helsinki, Varpo Knutila for Helsinki jamming. And here we go. Varpo Knutila is ahead for the moment, but she's quite recycled by Glasgow Wolves, pushing her way through. They're in the scissor jam for the moment, and first lead jam for Helsinki through Varpo Knutila, lead jammer.
Yep, Lawless still looking for an in there, stuck behind a wall of Helsinki players, just keeping her at bay.
5 for Varpo Knutila for the first jam. It's always something when the team scores first in a game.
It's always a special moment in my life, Fred, that's for sure. Marshall Lawless just taking a knee there as she's looking to use every part of her body to get through this wall.
And another grand slam for Helsinki, and Varpo Knutila is still on the third scoring pass now.
Lawless with the star pass to captain Shorty. Shorty, of course, fouled out in the last game. She took 7 penalties.
For the moment, Irwes in the pivots is trying to contain the jammer, but she can't.
Katila calls off the jam. 5 more points scored there, taking Helsinki's total up to 19, I apologize.
Actually, for the first jam. Helsinki got quite a good jam, 19.4. First jam is always good.
Sarah McMillan now with the star for Glasgow.
And for Helsinki, I think it's Jarus Alexelin.
1-0-1.
Yep. It's always quite of a struggle to pronounce names from Finland.
I
actually.
think, Fred, you're going to do much better than me and my Mancunian accent, I can tell you that. Macmillan just pushing on the wall of Helsinki as their jammer goes to the penalty box.
And it's the first power jam for Glasgow, and number 7, Sarah Macmillan, trying to get even with Helsinki on the second jam and score much points, but the walls from Helsinki seem to be quite strong and preventing number 7 from going through for the moment.
Back block called on Sarah Macmillan. She's going to take a seat. Jammer switcheroo.
So Tarus Excelin is going to come back on the track for Helsinki. She's struggling again with the Glasgow walls.
Excelin pushing through. One left to pass, which she does. Of course, that was her initial pass. And the crowd really filling up here in Malmo.
I mean, the crowd, I'm sure, is cheering more for Helsinki than for Glasgow, concerning the geographical distance, actually.
Yeah.
Tarus Excelin scoring another point for Helsinki and flowing quite rapidly through the pack.
Macmillan back on track and in play for Glasgow, just looking for a space because she also on her initial pass. The Excelin goes around the outside. 5 more points picked up for Helsinki.
Quite an impressive start of the game for the Yellows, actually, scoring 33 points so far and an ugly 0 for Glasgow.
Of course, Glasgow playing in the black for this game, Helsinki in the yellow and white.
Tarus Excelin is still trying to struggle again with the Glasgow wall and taking the insides and scoring another 5 high in the sky for Helsinki. And that's the end of the jam. Still no point score for Glasgow. Impressive 2 first jams for Helsinki, scoring 38 points so far.
Yeah, I think there was a 19-point jam for Helsinki there. As you say, 0 to Glasgow.
They will have to strengthen their wall, actually, if they don't want the Finnish jammers to score as many points as they did for the first 2 jams.
Megan Heinemann with the star for Glasgow.
And for Helsinki, it's number 22, Man Maloney.
Man Maloney, of course, a recent transfer over from Stockholm.
And she's starting playing Derby in Copenhagen Roller Derby, actually. And she takes the leads on that 3rd jam of the game, now in a scoring pass.
Heinemann with a star stash.
Tiptoeing through the pack and scoring other points for Helsinki. Still no points for Glasgow. Impressive start for the Finnish team.
Heinemann knocked inside. She's going to be recycled back. Mamalooney, though, on the outside, skating backwards, picking up points.
Skating backwards and on one leg. Quite impressive skating from Man Maloney. And she managed to stay on the track to score another points for the capital of Finland, Helsinki.
Maloney coming in yet again. 1 left to pass. That's 8-2-3. That is, of course, Cara Viola. She makes it through. Megan Heinemann still at the back of that pack. Not quite through yet, and I think we've seen a star pass to Captain Shorty.
And meanwhile, Man Maloney is still scoring some other points, and we still have no points scored for Glasgow.
Shorty knocked to the inside, recycled back by Saxilin, Janissa Saxilin, number 1. Of course, we have, I guess, sisters? I'm going to guess sisters.
And Nikki Blocker-Glory is trying to contend Man Maloney, but she scored other points, trying maybe to break the record, instead the record high for the start of the game. Wow, I'm quite impressed by the ease she passes through the Glasgow wall. And on the outside, and this is the end of the jam. 73 points scored for Helsinki after only 3 jams, and still an ugly 0 for Glasgow.
If Glasgow really need to think about how they're going to defend understand against Helsinki what they can do to try and contain those jammers. But as you see, somebody like Maloney, very difficult to contain. So maybe their plan should be about getting their jammer out and how they do that.
And after such a huge defeat for the first game, it's always difficult to get back into the game.
Well, let me tell you, General Strike's not had that problem. 7, 8, 9. She's your lead jammer for Glasgow right now.
First lead for Glasgow of the game, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, a beautiful work by her, Fred, just scooching around the outside there. 5 points on the board for Glasgow. That's going to feel great for them. Exactly what they need right now.
The ugly zero has gone thanks to General Strike scoring 5 points for Glasgow, the 5 first points of the game, and she's trying to get through the inside, but she calls it off.
Yeah, Kanutila just reaching the pack there, so great job at calling that off. Glasgow, 8 points on the board. Helsinki, 76. We've got 22 minutes left of this first half here at the European SmackDown. We're on game 4 out of game 5.
And that's a good thing for Glasgow to have scored points on the fourth jam, actually, because otherwise they would have let Helsinki score many points. It would have been very difficult to get back into the game afterwards. So good job from General Strike.
Marshall Lawless now with the star for Glasgow.
And Tarusuk Selin for Helsinki, taking the lead for Helsinki once again. After that lead from Glasgow.
Lawless just pushing forward, but Helsinki's walls holding firm. Knocked to the inside of the track and actually picking up a forearms penalty. She's going to sit in that penalty box.
Marshall Lawless to the penalty box, and it's going to be a power jam for Helsinki then.
Well, you say that. 1-0-1. The jammer for Helsinki. Taru Sexelian off for a cut track penalty.
Exactly, so it's number 42, Marshall Lawless, coming back on the track for Glasgow, being able to score points for the Blacks. Oh, but she's being recycled quite good by Nina Owens, the team captain from Helsinki. And Taru Sexelian is back again on the track.
Lawless being escorted to the outside by the other Sexelian sister, but breaks free from that pack.
Oh, Taru getting through it and scoring points more for the Yellows. Oh, nice move.
Fantastic work there by Marshall Lawless. She went around the outside, was pretty much unchallenged by Helsinki. Picks up 4 points of her own.
And she saw a little hole on the outside and took it into another power jam for Glasgow, since Taru Sexelian is to the penalty box one more time on that jam.
Yeah, back block penalty assessed to Sexelian there.
But Marshall Lawless seems to be quite physically affected after having struggled for such a long time. But she's taking the inside with a very small apex jump and scoring more points for Glasgow.
5 more points for Glasgow as the clock runs down, taking their score to 17, Helsinki 90.
With 19 minutes and 47 seconds to go before the end of the first half.
Team timeout by called by Helsinki. They're gathering on the track to have that chat.
Oh, it's quite unusual, actually. Well, it took 3 jams for Glasgow to get into that game, and they managed to propose some good derby on their last jam.
Yeah, it certainly feels like they're getting into... Oh, the Sexelians are not sisters, they're married.
Oh, thank you. Hashtag Talk to SmackDown on Twitter. Because of that, we have good information, actually.
Everybody's a Derby sister, though, right?
Yeah.
Even you, Fred.
Yeah, I'm a Derby daddy as well, and a Derby uncle.
So there you go. I stand corrected, and I'm totally fine with that.
Okay, let's get back to the game with only 3 blockers on the track for Helsinki and the power jam situation for Glasgow, since we have... Can't see the number, actually.
Sarah McMillan, number 7, jamming for Glasgow. And a bit of a 3-on-4 pack advantage to Glasgow right now.
But a good opportunity for the Blacks to get back at Helsinki concerning the points.
So Macmillan looking for the in, takes a tumble onto the track, careful not to pick up that cut track, recycled back.
Her main objective is for now to take the lead before the return, but she was there, yeah.
So excelling back on track and in play, picking up lead for Helsinki. So Macmillan still fighting through that pack, takes a hit from number 455 of Helsinki, that's Domina.
From Tim Finland, it was a transfer from Stockholm engaged to 22 Man Maloney actually. Once again, another derby wedding.
So Macmillan taking a hit.
And this is the end of that jam. Oh, I think we have an injured player on the track. That's why everybody fall to the knees.
So medic's just going to take a look at Zara, make sure she's okay.
Seems to be a bit of an ankle maybe.
So don't forget, coming up next at 6, it's Detroit versus Crime City. Sunday, the schedule looks pretty good. London versus Glasgow, Crime City versus Helsinki, Stockholm versus Glasgow, Detroit versus Helsinki, and London versus Crime. So Macmillan's been checked out, she's all okay, returned to her bench, and we're going to start the next jam in just a moment. Don't forget, if you want to tell us anything, correct anything I say wrong,
or I say wrong as well.
Or you say wrong, or tell me what the point differential is.
Yeah.
It's hashtag #2 SmackDown. We welcome your interaction.
95 for Helsinki, 17 for Glasgow, 18 minutes and 53 seconds to go before the end of the first half.
And we'd just like to say a great big thank you to Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is the main tournament sponsor. They have an easy web shop with simple and fast shipping and can help and advise you in English, French, Dutch, German and Spanish.
And we're getting back to the game with Helsinki 88 yellow, Varpuk Nutila jamming.
And that is number 4, Megan Hyman, wearing the star for Glasgow.
Well, Glasgow Jammer is trying to take on the outside, but she's quickly recycled, but now takes on the inside and nearly took the lead on that jam. But it's Varpuk for the yellows. Now in the scoring pass. Trying to get some assists from the blockers. And she scores all the points for Helsinki. Helsinki, who will reach the level of 100 points very soon. And this is it for Helsinki.
Hyman finally breaking free of that pack. She's going to be looking to pick up some points. Oh, Helsinki's jammer though, with great awareness, calls off the jam just as Megan Hyman reaches the back of the pack, denies Glasgow any points.
Nice move from Helsinki. 104 for Helsinki, 17 still for Glasgow, 17 minutes and 43 seconds to go. I'm quite surprised with the agility of the Helsinki jammers who managed to get the very slight little holes in the pack to score points.
Yeah, they're certainly pushing against Glasgow's defences, testing them, finding out where the weak spots are, where they can really sort of use it to their advantage. Right now we have a number 2, that is Jessie Scar for Glasgow, wearing the star. She's pushing the 3 wall of Helsinki at the back.
And I think this is still Varpuk Nutila, I can see, with number 88. Jamming for Helsinki, but she goes to the penalty box for blocking out of bounds.
So power jam for Glasgow right now. Jessie Scar with that 3 wall to pass yet again. Glasgow coming in, offering up some offence.
Look at how quick Helsinki walls are reorganizing, preventing for the moment Glasgow jammer from passing through. Oh, nice move from Harris, Helsinki captain.
Glasgow coming in to sweep that wall and try and clear a space for Jess. But Jess still with 2 to pass. Nina Uwes
struggling with number 2, but she scores.
Jess through, picks up lead jammer. But even as she does, we're seeing Helsinki's jammer return to play now. Jess coming in for her scoring pass, attacking the front free wall of Helsinki players. That brace, though, holding strong. Jess knocked to the outside, recycled back.
Good triangle defense from Helsinki.
Devil's Advocate also knocking Helsinki's jammer out of bounds and forcing that recycle back.
But Jessica is still controlling the jam as she's the lead jammer, but she having quite of a struggle with number 455 Domina FX, if I can pronounce it well. And she calls the jam.
Not before Canutilla breaks free of that pack. Doesn't pick up any points for herself, but Glasgow picking up 4 points there. Breaking that dry spell of scoring.
It seems that they have some kind of difficulties to maintain the level of skating and of derby, because they can play some good derby on one jam, but the jam just after, they just seem to be off the ground.
I think we have to remember that they have already played one game already today, and that does have to be taken into account.
Definitely.
Let's see how Marshall Lawless will do. Well, I can tell you, lead jammer with a little hop, skip and a jump over the apex.
It's been the second lead in a row for Glasgow. Maybe we are witnessing kind of a momentum from Glasgow on this first half. And Lawless is trying to score points, but it's a good hit by number 604, Sarah Elkholm for Helsinki. Still, once again on Team Finland. And Lawless calls it off.
Great work there by Lawless. Calls off the jam, picks up 4 points for Glasgow, denies Helsinki any points just as their jammer was coming into the pack ready to take some points. So Glasgow slowly chipping away at that differential. Now I know it's huge right now, 104 to 25, but not necessarily insurmountable in the game as a whole.
But I think they have to focus on every single detail. I mean, it's been the second jam in a row that they are leading, and that could be used to upgrade the derby, actually.
So Macmillan back with the star for Glasgow.
Taking the lead after the jam, that number 22, Matt Maloney for Helsinki.
And Maloney wasting no time in getting around that track.
But it's quite a good recycling from number 730, Fever from Glasgow.
Macmillan still in the mix on her initial pass. She's got one of those strong three walls to get past again. Now just down to 2, but wherever she seems to be, a Helsinki blocker is also in her way. Maloney, meanwhile, another 5 points on the board for Helsinki.
Once again, strong walls from Helsinki preventing Macmillan from passing through the wall. In the meantime, Malou, as it is written on her shirts, is scoring more points for Helsinki. So how should we call her? Maloney, Malou, tell her on hashtag #TalkToSmackDown.
Maloney pushing forward. 5:07 to pass. That is, of course, Phoenix. She makes it through, but not without a bit of a fight. 5 further points on the board for Helsinki. Sarah Macmillan still looking for an in, and Helsinki just being relentless in their hits.
Malu taking the outside and taking another grand slam for Helsinki. I keep on calling her Malu now. I like that name, so I'll keep it's written on her shirt, so I call her that.
Macmillan with the star pass to 350. Devil's Advocate. She doesn't get a chance to use that opportunity though, as Maloney calls off the jam. 4 further points picked up there for Helsinki, taking that score to 128-25.
With 12 minutes and 4 seconds to go before the end of the first half.
So coming up next, number 4, Megan Heineman wearing the star for Glasgow.
And number 88 for Helsinki, Vapuk Nutila for Helsinki then. Here we go.
Slow start for both teams. Megan Heineman looking for an in on the inside line.
Oh, Glasgow was quite well organized, preventing Vapuk Nutila from passing through. Good defending from Glasgow, but she tiptoes on the outside.
Did a double check. Nutila thought that she was free and clear, but the refs say no. She picks up a cut shot penalty. Power jam to Glasgow now.
on the last power jams for Glasgow, they immediately made a mistake just afterwards. So we'll see if they maintain that situation of power jam for the Blacks. And we have a huge defending from Helsinki walls.
Helsinki great at doing that forward recycling, so no matter how hard Glasgow are trying to break up those walls, Helsinki are just moving forward and keeping that recycling going. We're seeing the pack move down the track, but to be fair, that is being driven by the Helsinki blockers. And now back on track and in play, Helsinki's jammer, so they effectively neutralise that power jam against them.
And it's also quite physically demanding for each jammer, so we can really understand why that she's not going through it, because it's physically demanding having such a defence from Helsinki.
Canutella back to the penalty box. She got called for a back block penalty there.
Let's see if that other power jam for Glasgow is still going to be neutralised by Helsinki. Still having huge defending from the Yellows. Once again, as I said, it's quite physically demanding from number 4 from Glasgow. And she's trying her best to go through it. She's being recycled again. Oh, look at that. She seems to be physically affected.
Yeah, Megan Hyman really pushing forward. The jam comes to an end. And I don't know, I feel like it must have felt like a very lonely place to be there as the Glasgow jammer. Yeah. The support, the offense she needed just wasn't forthcoming from her team. Maybe that's not the play they're going with today. But she was certainly pushing against those 3 walls from Helsinki. And as we've said already, that recycling that they do, that forward recycling, so strong, so fluid, and so difficult to play against as well, Fred. It's not going to be an easy... So
is it a team timeout? Or no, it's an official review, actually. I think it's an official review.
So Helsinki calling that official review. We're going to hear from the head referee in just a moment to find out what that's about. In the meantime, let's tell you about our sponsors. We've already mentioned Sucker Punch, which is Europe's finest roller derby shop, owned and operated by derby skaters.
And let's mention Europe's original brick and mortar roller derby equipment supplier, Quad Roller Skate Shop, has the best selection and most stock of any store of the continent. With excellent consultation services only a fellow skater could provide, we've got all your needs covered. We love this game. Support the shops that support elites. Keep derby owned and operated live. Shop Quad Skate Shop.
So the stadium here in sunny Malmo is certainly filling up, and I'm sure throughout the day we'll see it get even more full. Crime City have a brass band support section.
That's what I was about to say. I'm so looking forward to seeing the brass section coming back on the stands.
They certainly added atmosphere this morning. Well, we're going to find out about that official review in just one moment, hopefully. We will let you know. So don't forget, coming up after today's game, we've got Detroit versus Crime City. And right now we're going to hear from the head referee for this game.
Official review from Helsinki. They were contesting the back block call from their jammer on turn 3 and turn 4. It was deemed that the blocker had established position and established trajectory. Therefore, the contact was initiated by the jammer and the penalty will stand.
Okay, so the penalty will stand on this.
Head referee, Matt Led there.
And I think that we're going to have another power jam for Glasgow. With
Canutella still stood in the penalty box. So we have number 7, 8, 9, General Strike on the jammer line now for Glasgow.
And she's going to try to make the most of the situation, trying to score more points for Glasgow. But it's taking into consideration, Helsinki defending, but this time General Strike managed to take the lead on that jam. Nice move from number 7, 8, 9 of Glasgow.
General Strike, of course, the first jammer to break the deadlock, the dry spell of non-scoring
And she scores another 4 points, for Glasgow.
Nutilla back on track and in play, answering with 4 points of her own. General Strike calls a jam as she hits the back of the pack.
Good jam from General Strike. She deserved that point.
So Glasgow now on 30, Helsinki 1-3-2. If you've just joined us, Glasgow playing in the black, Helsinki in the yellow.
And it's the first jam of the game for Majorine, number 39 of Helsinki. I think it might be the most difficult name to pronounce of that game, Majorine. I don't know if I pronounce it well. If I don't, please tell us on the hashtag #TalkToSmackDown on Twitter.
So we've got about 8.5 minutes left of this first half, the fourth game here at the European SmackDown.
And for the moment, it's more than 100-point difference since Helsinki is leading 132 to Glasgow 31.
Yeah, 101 points actually there, Fred. I'll pick you up on that, that math.
You could have done it. You could have done it quite easily, Cardi.
I did not use a calculator, I'm proud to say. Okay, back to
the
it.
game.
Number 42, Marshall Lawless with the star for Glasgow.
And Majorine taking the lead for Helsinki, number yellow 39. On a scoring pass now for the first jam as jammer of that game for her.
Marshall Lawless still on her initial pass and not finding the space she needs to get through.
And scoring another 5 for Majorine. Or Majorine maybe, I don't know.
Lawless knocked to the inside, straddling the line, double checked herself to make sure she wouldn't cut the track.
Oh, straight into the back and scoring another 5 for Helsinki. Quite nice skating from her. And I think what is the third scoring pass now for her.
But Lawless finally out of that pack and looking to be on a scoring pass. Makes it around the last line of defence. 4 points picked up for Glasgow.
But in the meantime, the number 39 is taking the outside to score all the points for the Yellows.
Lawless coming in for another scoring pass now. Hits the 3-wall of Helsinki up front.
Glasgow wall is reorganizing. And she's taking the inside. And she scored the points for Helsinki. Oh, what a jam for the Yellow.
Lawless knocked infield, recycled back. She's got 2 to pass up front, knocked to the outside. She's going to be recycled back once again.
As we have a tweet that perfectly sums up, I think, the first half from Dana Johnson-Wall. Good gods, Helsinki Roller Derby Allstars blockers are some beautiful beasts, and that's true.
Lawless fighting through, finds space up the inside line just before the jam is called.
6 minutes and 22 seconds to go before the end of the first half. Helsinki leading more than ever, 155 to 39 for Glasgow.
Glasgow doing a great job there, getting some points on the board, and Lawless just really keeping her cool under quite a pressurised situation. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Glasgow must be feeling the pressure to perform, but they've got to keep their heads about them when they go into these jams, not make any mistakes, keep those penalties fairly clean.
And it's another lead for Helsinki with number 109, Taru Sekselin.
As Sarah McMillan goes to the penalty box, cut track penalty assessed, so power jam in Helsinki's favour.
Power jam from Taru is trying to make the most of it, and she goes through the wall and scoring another 5 high in the sky for the Yellows.
Glasgow lining up to try and slow down Helsinki now.
But she's very agile, and too much agile since she's for a back block sent to the penalty box. So it's going to be another power jam, this time for Glasgow. Taru Sekselin going to the penalty box. And number 7, Sarah McMillan, coming back on the track for Glasgow.
I think Sarah served pretty much the entirety of her 30 seconds.
But Macmillan is out for a back block and sent back to the penalty box. So it was a very short power jam for Glasgow. And Tyrus Excelin is back again.
Macmillan also released.
Oh, Glasgow's quite good defending on that jam against Tyrus Excelin.
Yep, they're keeping her at bay up front. Helsinki at the back with their own 3-wall against Macmillan.
But Nina Urbis, the pivot, is trying to assist her jammer with no success for the moment. Glasgow is still strong on their feet to defend against Tyrus Excelin.
And back block being assessed once again to Sarah Macmillan.
And it's the end of the jam. It's going to be another power jam on the next one for Helsinki.
So Dana Lisa tweeted in, good gods, Helsinki Roller Derby All-Star blockers are some beautiful beasts. Hashtag strength, hashtag roller derby, hashtag talk to SmackDown. If you want to tell us who you think are beasts apart from me and shut the Fred up, then please feel free to use that hashtag. Talk to us, let us know what you're thinking.
You might be the loveliest beast I've ever seen in my life.
Who, me?
Beatrix.
Oh my goodness, I'm blushing, Fred. Let's get back to some roller derby before people start talking.
And it's number 156, Mia, for her first jam as jammer, taking the lead for Helsinki.
And what a fantastic job she's doing, literally running at the skaters of Glasgow, pushing them so she can get on through and pick up those points. 5 points on the board for Helsinki.
Good performance from Team Finland jammer also. Mia, yellow 156, is trying to get through Glasgow back, and she does it. And another grand slam for Helsinki.
Well, Macmillan back on track and in play now for Glasgow. Looking to take a shirt whip from 823 Cara Viola. Still in the mix of the yellow and green as Maya, one-footed, almost bent over backwards in some sort of matrix move, gets past the Glasgow blockers. But Macmillan now out of the pack and looking to score.
And Mia calls it. I'm quite impressed, as usual, with the agility of Helsinki jammers. They're so quick and easy at scoring points. And sometimes with style, which is something of an add-on when we watch roller derby.
Yeah, we're not always doing it to look pretty, we're doing it for the points,
Yes.
right? Number 4, Sarah. I just imagine, no, never mind. Number 4, Megan Heinemann jamming now for Glasgow.
And for Helsinki, it's number 88, Vapuk Nutila. Taking the leads very quick.
Dancing on her toe stops up the outside line there.
And she's in a scoring pass now. Skating quite rapidly.
Hits the back wall of Glasgow though. Challenged up front by 507 Phoenix.
Quite well recycled by Glasgow. But she's getting away through the pack and taking the outside. And scoring another 5 for Helsinki.
Glasgow now coming in to clear a path for Heinemann. Heinemann with the star stash.
But you have another good defending by Helsinki on Heinemann. Quite also impressed by Erwas, Helsinki captain. Good performance on the track from number 28 from Helsinki.
Sometimes when I watch Maloney jam, I just feel like she's on a different plane to everybody else because she is not being challenged at all here. She's literally skating laps, and I see this time and again with her, no matter what team she plays for. I wonder if she wears an invisibility cloak.
And she's very good at dodging the blockers also, and quite rapidly being able for her to score another 4 for Helsinki. And Helsinki has passed the 200 points for the first time in that game. 205 for Helsinki. And we have 15 seconds left on that first half.
15 seconds left of the first half. And Maloney calls the jam just as Glasgow pick up some points there, picking up 4 points.
And this is halftime on that score, 212. Impressive for Helsinki, 43 for Glasgow. What a game from Helsinki so far. So we're coming back in
just under 15 minutes, Fred?
Yes, for the second half. Let's see if the Helsinki blockers are still beats, as it is said and written on hashtag Talk to SmackDown on Twitter.
Yep.
If you want to convey messages, be ready and feel free to post on Twitter through the hashtag Talk to SmackDown. 2 is the number.
Well done, and we'll see you back here in just over 10 minutes time. Well, 14 minutes time.
14 minutes time. See you folks.
Okay, so we're back to it. Well, the second half of Glasgow Roller Derby versus Helsinki Roller Derby. And I don't know if you saw in halftime the dance-off, plank-off that was happening here at the stadium.
There was also a push-up competition just to win t-shirts. Quite a nice atmosphere here in Baptista Hall in Malmö, Sweden.
Yes, sunny Malmö, sunny Sweden. I am, of course, the lovely Beatrix. And joining me for the first time ever in his live stream career, not just joining me for the first time ever, because we've announced together before, but joining me on live stream for the first time ever.
This is Shut the Fred Up from Paris. Un petit bonjour en français aux Français qui nous regardent.
Yes, I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Oui, oui.
So you're perfectly fluent in French, actually.
Absolutely, I am. Now, just to mention our tournament sponsor, that is, of course, Sucker Punch, Europe's finest roller derby shop, owned and operated by Derby skaters. They're more than a store; they're a workshop where they can mount and fix your skates. I was going to say where you can mount and fix your skates, but that would be a lie.
That would be a lie.
And I also thought I'd mention Euro DerbyCon. That's right, we're having a DerbyCon, 14th to the 17th of July this year. It's going to be in Barcelona.
Ooh, Barcelona.
Yes.
Let's get ready for sun all over the place in Barcelona for the Euro DerbyCon next 14th to 17th of July 2016.
And you can find out more about that at trackadvantage.com/Euro DerbyCon.
Let's get back to the game. 212 for Helsinki, 43 for Glasgow.
Helsinki in the yellow, Glasgow playing in the black.
Let's see if Glasgow will have some those strong walls they showed us on the first half. And right from the start, this is Helsinki taking the lead in the first half of the second half by Malou, yellow 22.
But straight out of the pack, and only half a lap behind, number 42, that is Marshall Lawless.
And Malou calls it, scoring only 1 point for Helsinki.
I think Lawless got a bit too close for comfort there for Malou and forced that call off. So great work there by Glasgow.
Work. Exactly. We'll see if Glasgow is capable of continuing the great work with next jam. And this is going to be number 88, Varpuk Nutina, I think, for Helsinki. No, it's 39, sorry. Majorina for Helsinki taking the lead on that jam.
And it is, of course, 7, 8, 9, General Strike for Glasgow.
Majorina on the scoring pass now. Oh, good defending from Glasgow. Contending, number 39 for the moment. Not being able to pass. But she managed to get through it on the outside and takes another 5 for Helsinki.
Sarah Eckholm there doing a great job for Helsinki, just breaking up that strong Glasgow wall that was keeping the Helsinki jammer at bay.
We've got Feeble Devlin Watson for Glasgow still on the track, and number 39, Majorina, is taking another 4, for Helsinki.
This is a power jam now for Helsinki as General Strike sits in that penalty box. Cut-track penalty assessed to her.
There was a nice double hit on number 35, but she managed to stay on the track to score another 5 for the Yellows. Ooh, she's accelerating and passing through.
Helsinki pulling the pack backwards, trying to give their jammer as much opportunity as possible right now. General strike back on track and in play for Glasgow.
A good triangle defending for the moment on number 39 from Helsinki. And Fever is organising all this.
Watson also in support, looks to pick up number 39 as she pulls away from the pack, doesn't quite land it.
Despite Devil's agility on her skates from Glasgow.
General strike still behind a wall of Helsinki.
Good defending from Phoenix and Glasgow, recycling Majirina, and this is the end of that jam. Once again, it's quite of a pity because Glasgow have some good defending on the jams, but facing a Helsinki jammer's agility, it's quite hard to maintain that level of defending, even though they are defending quite good sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I think Glasgow are playing that game is, what do we do? Do we defend against the jammer scoring all the points, or do we go more offense and get our jammer out? And they're swinging between the two plays, I think. We saw some strong defence in the end of that first half. Let's see if we can see some more of that from Glasgow. Already, Glasgow at 43 right now, Helsinki 240. Don't forget the Crown City Glasgow score was 5-3-6 to Crown City, 46 to Glasgow earlier on today. So Glasgow already doing a great job at keeping that scoreline lower for Helsinki and also increasing their own points. I have no doubt that they will surpass this morning's score for themselves.
Definitely should be one of the objectives from Glasgow for Helsinki, not to score as many points as Crime City did in the first game they had this morning. And let's see if Mia 156 for Helsinki is going to score. And right from the start, once again, very quick lead for Helsinki. And Mia in the scoring pass now skating quite fast.
Megan Hindman with the star for Glasgow, looking for an in the Helsinki triangle, watching as Mia literally runs through the middle of that pack to pick up her points for Helsinki.
And quite physically demanding move for number 4 in Glasgow. That's Megan Hindman, but she never gives up and still struggling with Helsinki's wall.
Yep, she's stashed the start this time. Beautiful move by Mia. Just a hop, skip, and a little jump there to pick up 5 more points for Helsinki.
I love when jammers are jumping over the track to score points.
Star pass now from Megan Hyman to the captain, Shorty McLightning Pants. But she has picked up a court trap penalty in that move. Something we saw in the Crime City game was a lot of star passes, 12 in the first half for Glasgow, but that was followed by some penalties.
So many penalties, and we're still having a power jam then for Helsinki on the next one.
The scores for Helsinki stand at 2-6-3, Glasgow 43. We've had just 3 jams in this second half. If you've just joined us, Glasgow playing in the black, Helsinki in the yellow and green. You can tell us all your thoughts about this weekend's tournament using the hashtag #2 SmackDown. Get yourselves on Twitter and Facebook to share your viewing parties and thoughts and fun with us.
And Malou taking the lead on that jam for Helsinki, but this time just at the end of turn 2, not like 1 second after. And Malou on a scoring pass now, taking the outside and scoring another 5 high in the sky for number 22, Yellow.
Sarah Eckholm with some fantastic offensive moves to just clear the way for Malou. Doesn't need to do it this past round as Malou finds the space on the outside line. Shorty McLightning Pants, captain for Glasgow, now back on track and in play. But Sarah Eckholm all over her like a rash.
There's a bit of a struggle in the pack from Glasgow blockers, trying to prevent Malou from passing, but she scores once again.
Malou coming on in, Shorty with Lightning Pants taking a run up. Lou calls off the jam. Did Glasgow pick up any points there? Quick conference with the refs.
23 minutes, 45 seconds to go for the end of the game.
Points for Glasgow. Oh, no points
no.
for Glasgow. I got excited then. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
0 points to Glasgow, 5 extra points for Helsinki there, taking their score to 8-2 to Glasgow's 43.
With 23 minutes and 34 seconds to go for the end of that game. Who's going to take the lead on the next jam? And this is Helsinki once again with number 39, Majurina, as it's the right pronunciation, I hope, for the Yellows. And scoring another point.
Glasgow jammer number 2, that is Jessie Scarr. She's literally taking a knee as Helsinki slow her right down.
Despite Sinclair defending, Maju is on fire on that jam. Oh, good defending from number 182 from Glasgow. Let's just say Nikki Blocker Glory. But still, Majurina is able to pass and score another 5. Taking the outside now.
Jessie Scarr makes it out of the pack for Glasgow.
And Maju saw it just right behind her. That's why she decided to call that jam off. And for the first time of the game, Helsinki passes the 300 points with 302 for Helsinki to 43 for Glasgow. Don't forget that you can send messages and talk about maybe our mistakes of pronunciation for Finnish jammers on the hashtag #talk2SmackDown on Twitter.
Oh, please don't tell me my pronunciation is wrong.
I'm sure I'm
English is hard enough, but tell you what's not hard, jamming when you're Marshall Lawless. She picks up lead for Glasgow. First time this half that Glasgow have lead.
Ooh.
Takes an apex jump. Did she land it correctly?
No.
She wasn't sure. Crawls off the track and is going to be recycled by those Helsinki walls.
She was that close to succeed at apex jump, and she takes the outside, but it's a good defending from number 1, Janica Saxelin, the other one from Helsinki.
But Lawless takes the no penalty. Coming in for another scoring pass, Mia in the penalty box and standing. Lawless knocked to the inside, recycled right the way back. That is Sarah Ekholm yet again in attendance.
And Helsinki Jammer is back on the track with number 156, Mia. But this is Glasgow controlling that jam, and Lawless is cutting it off.
2 points picked up by Glasgow there. And that was quite a tough job for Lawless to be able to call that off, because she was literally surrounded by
blockers from Helsinki.
Yeah, and so making herself visible enough to be able to call that jam off was really a tough call for her. So
and we have 3 points more for Helsinki apparently.
So Helsinki on 49, they've now surpassed that scoreline against Crime City this morning. We're just having a moment to check an injured skater. It is 350 Devils Advocate. Medics are with her and just checking that out.
Hopefully she's going to recover from this.
So in the meantime, let me tell you about what's coming next. We do, of course, have Detroit versus Crime City. Both teams have already played today. London versus Detroit this morning. I'll remind you of that scoreline
in a minute when I find the paperback. This is just here. So London won against Detroit 345-97 for Detroit.
And then Crime City played Glasgow this morning. As I've already said there, Crime City with a huge win, 536-46. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, Detroit versus Crime. Fred, what do you think?
I think it's going to be quite an interesting game, actually. And Crime City is going to be just in front of their fans, in front of their audience. Crime City being number 3 in European flat track ranking and number 25 in WFTDA ranking. versus Detroit. Only 5 ranks difference, number 20 in WFTDA ranking. So I think it's going to be a very close game, and I think also that the crowd is going to be raving with the orchestra. It's going to be the perfect time for the fans to be in the stands and to support their team. So let's see that game. Let's see that game.
Definitely, and I cannot wait. Crime City's supporters in the arena so far today have been beyond vocal. As we said earlier, we've seen brass bands, they've had some kind of maracas and shakers going on, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Now let me tell you, Dana Lisa tweeted into us on the hashtag #2SmackDown. Glasgow should be so proud, so much heart, hashtag different kind of winning. Yes, you're absolutely right. They are doing themselves proud out there. This is by no means an easy game at all. Helsinki not letting up, giving it all their heart, but Glasgow also, they're not letting their heads drop, are they?
Scottish courage, definitely. And the crowd gave a huge round of applause, actually, to Devil's Advocate, who went out of the game, still injured.
Yeah, Devil Advocate just with the medics now being checked over, and if we get an update before the end of the second half, we will of course let you know that. We have got 20 minutes, 20 with a T, let's try that again,
yes,
20 minutes. 20, I was brought up better than that.
Don't forget your Mancunian, right?
I know, right? 20 minutes left of this second half, the 4th game here at the European SmackDown, and I have to say, just on a personal note, the first WFTDA D1 tournament recognised, and I don't even know if that made sense in that order then, Fred, but it's fantastic. I'm so excited for Roller Derby.
And there's going to be another WFTD1 D1 recognised tournament in April in Nantes, in my home country, France, right? Organised by the Nantes Derby girls. So Europe is here.
Well, yeah, I think we've been here for some time, but I think it's great to see some really high-level play happening and hopefully being streamed. I hope none is streamed. That would be exciting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But being streamed straight into your eyeballs here from sunny Malmo. It is the European SmackDown, hosted by the fantastic Crime City Rollers. And sponsored by the amazing Sucker Punch. They are Europe's finest roller derby shop, owned and operated by derby skaters. They have an easy web shop with simple and fast shipping.
And also sponsored by Quad, with excellent consultation services only a fellow skater could provide. But they've got all your needs covered, and we love this game.
Okay.
Let's get back to the game with a power jam then for Glasgow.
Yep, a power jam. Mia sat in that penalty box, but a micro pack out. Oh gosh, come on. I'm not a beer yet. Micro pack out on track for Glasgow. Only 2 blockers. Sarah McMillan, number 7, with the star for Glasgow.
And full configuration for Helsinki pack.
So how will Glasgow work this power jam? So far, Helsinki have been pretty good at neutralising them against.
But Macmillan is giving her best to get through her initial pass.
Helsinki with a few penalties here right now. Clockwise block assessed to number 94. Sarah McMillan pushing through, which she does, picks up lead for Glasgow.
Lead jammer for number 7, Macmillan. She's now controlling the game.
156 Mia back on track, and in play is Macmillan with a little bit of a snazzy turneroo. Picks up 5 points for Glasgow. Checking in with the bench.
And she calls it not taking any risk for Mia to score points for Helsinki. Good performance by Macmillan. I think you're being teased on Twitter, Beatrix.
Really, Grace Kelly? 20. Really?
Don't forget the T. 20,
I'm the only one here
Beatrix.
with received pronunciation, I'll have you know. It comes as standard in England.
And therefore, it's Tarus excelling for Helsinki. Number 101 jamming for the Yellows.
And number 4, Number 4, Megan Hindman for Glasgow. That's it. I've lost it. Helsinki with the lead. Just a quick check-in with those scores, actually. It's Helsinki 305, Glasgow 54. Glasgow playing in the black, Helsinki in the yellow.
And Taras Excelling scoring more points for the Yellows. Grand Slam for Helsinki. Glasgow is trying to reorganize in the pack, waiting for Taras Excelling to come. And here they are. But she managed to get through it.
Yep.
5 high for number 101, Taras Excelling.
So Meg Hyman also out of the pack now. She had a little bit of a star stash. Excelling not having to do that at all. Finds the space wide open on the outside line. Not challenged as she went up there and picked up her 4 points. Calls off the jam, taking them to 3-1-9.
With 18 sharp minutes to go before the end of that game.
What do 18 blunt minutes look like, Fred?
Like something like 17:59. It's sharp. I love it when it's sharp, actually.
Makes you happy when it's sharp.
Yeah.
So if we can all just try and make that happen for Fred in life, that would be excellent. Okay, back
You
to
want me
it.
to be teased on Twitter, right?
Number 2, Jessie Scarr jamming for Glasgow, but in the lead there it is Maloney, number 22, coming round for her initial scoring pass now. Jessie Scarr still in her first pass.
And Malou showing some agility to go through the pack and take another 5 points for Helsinki.
I mean, when does Malou not show agility? Even just by blinking her eyelids, she's got that agility well more than I will ever have.
Taking on the outside and then to the inside and scoring another 5 from number 22 from Helsinki, Malou.
Jessie Scarr working the 3-wall at the back of Helsinki players. Really just, I see what she's doing. She's trying to not get flustered. We've talked about it before. This is a pressured situation. For Glasgow. Trying not to get flustered. You don't want to have a power jam against you at that point.
And Malou, in the meantime, is taking another 5.
So Malou coming in once again, running on the toe stops around the outside line, into the inside. Jessie Scarr with the star pass to Amy, number 91 for Glasgow.
But Malou is still on fire on that jam, and she managed to pass this one more time, adding another 5 points to the score. What a performance from Malou on that jam. Oh, nice move from number 22. Once again displaying much agility, but Glasgow is here and still standing.
Amy makes it through the pack. Malou just looks up from those laps that she's doing to check out where the jammer is. Motions to her team to hurry up. She doesn't want to give away any easy points. Calls off the jam just as Amy is in touching distance.
I think it was her first jam as a jammer for Amy on that game.
Yeah, I believe so. She took the star pass and did what she could. 3-5-8 to Helsinki, 54 to Glasgow. 15 minutes and some change left of this game.
And this time we're going to have one blocker down for Helsinki and full configuration blockers for Glasgow. Maybe room more from Glasgow jammer. That is to say number 91.
Looks like 789, General Strike.
Oh, it's General Strike, yes. But it's number 39, Majurina, who takes the lead for Helsinki instead.
General Strike knocked to the outside, recycled back. Maju through the pack, 5 points on the board for Helsinki. As General Strike tests the wall defences of Helsinki, pushing forward, waiting for that no pack, scooches around the outside, breaks free.
Quite nice performance from General Strike.
Jurini off to the penalty box. 4 rounds penalty assessed. Power jam to Glasgow now. General Strike has got it all within her grasp, takes a fall as she hits the Glasgow 3-wall, and that is a triangle of doom to be stuck behind. Number 823 Cara Viola coming in and offering up some offence.
So paradoxically we can say that it's much work to do for General Strike actually.
it's much work to do for General Strike.
Work, General Strike. Did you get it?
Oh, go on. Well, I'll tell you what I do get.
Yeah,
She's
that was
picked
such
up
a bad joke that she's going straight away to penalty box.
cut track penalty for General Strike.
And therefore, a power jam for Helsinki. And number 39, Majorina.
Back on track and in play, already picking up 5 points for Helsinki. Just under 30 seconds left of this jam.
For the moment, Glasgow was good at recycling Majorina. Still struggling, especially with number 823, Caraviola. But Majorina is taking the outside and adding another 5 for Helsinki.
General Strike back on track and in play for Glasgow now, but jam comes to an end. 13 minutes just under left on this clock. Helsinki 373, Glasgow 58. It's like a 325-point differential right there. Is it?
Beatrix, I'm amazed. I am amazed at your rapid calculation without any technology.
I actually
You're
did not
making
use a
such
calculator.
improvements.
You made it sound like I used a calculator then. I did not.
No,
Anyway,
you did not.
Marshall Lawless now jamming for Glasgow, but look who's out and lead jammer. It is number 156, Mia. I wonder if it's Mia or MIA, as in missing in action.
I don't know. Maybe it's a tribute also to a famous British singer. Actually, Mia. Maybe she loves it. But in the meantime,
so Marshall Lawless also out of the pack and looking for points. But Mia calls off the jam. Oh, apparently I got my maths wrong.
oh, we have less than 12 minutes playing on that game. And it's 382 for Helsinki, 58 for Glasgow.
Well, you know, if you want to tell me your maths or correct me when I'm wrong about what Mia stands for or doesn't stand for, use the hashtag #TalkTheNumber2 SmackDown.
Okay, let's get back to the game. Let's be serious for a moment. Helsinki jammer, few seconds after, had a
Forearms penalty assessed there. So Sarah McMillan, number 7 from Glasgow, the only jammer out on track, and looking at a power jam.
power jam for Glasgow.
Not going to make this easy, not that they ever do anyway. And just doing a fantastic job of reforming those walls right in front of Sarah. And Sarah's literally pushing against them right now, using
Look
all
how
her
strong Helsinki walls are. For the moment, Freddie McMillan to pass, but she managed to get through it and score point for.
So she is lead jammer coming in for her initial scoring pass.
Sorry.
But look who's back on track for Helsinki. It is 101 excelling.
But it's Glasgow in control of that jam.
And Sarah McMillan calls it dead. 0 points for Helsinki. 2 points for Glasgow.
As I said, I was predictive in Glasgow scoring points then. 2 more points for the Blacks.
So they're up to 60 now, Helsinki 382. 10 minutes left of this second half of the 4th game of the first day of the European SmackDown. I do know math sometimes.
1 game left just after that one. Between Crime City, the locals, and Detroit.
Official timeout called. So yeah, Detroit versus Crime City coming up next.
This is always amazing to have an American team coming to play Derby in Europe. And we're quite delighted to have Detroit at this European SmackDown tournament. And they're going to play in, I think, will be a raving Hall versus Crime City. And the locals and the orchestras and all that.
I especially like Crime City and their singing.
Yeah.
They have beautiful
the
singing
cover
voices.
from songs.
So Glasgow actually on 61. That it's gone up a point there. 382 for Helsinki. Glasgow 61.
So it's Malou jamming this time for Helsinki.
And that is number 4. Megan Heineman for Glasgow.
And Malu taking the outside and the lead at the same time for Helsinki. Malu in control of that jam. Glasgow is trying to reorganize. But Malu still stand on her feet and score another 5 for Helsinki.
Megan Hyman with 1 to pass. With a full lap pretty much behind Malu.
Only 2 blockers from Glasgow left on the track. Quite a lot of penalties for the Blacks. And Malu makes the most of it to score another 4 for Helsinki.
Megan Hyman dancing around now on her initial scoring pass.
Oh, nice skating from Malu, scoring another 5 for Helsinki. And the jammer from Glasgow is going to be sent to the penalty box for a cutting. Therefore, it's a power jam for Helsinki, and they have the opportunity to reach the level of the 400 points on that jam from Malu. Only 4 points behind. But Glasgow is playing quite well for the moment, contending Malu and recycling her to the back.
Megan Hyman, number 3, the captain, Short Team at Lightning, with a great hit. Does pick up a penalty for her troubles, but it certainly slowed down Malu for a little bit of time. 5 further points on the board for Helsinki right now.
And that's it. Helsinki has scored 401 points.
Megan Hyman back on track and in play for Glasgow. Just running straight into that wall of Helsinki. Well, their total power is certainly working today.
Ooh.
Beautiful apex jump from Malu.
Nice one. And right after the apex jump, she calls it off.
Glasgow picking up 4 points in that jam.
Quite a nice performance for the Blacks.
Helsinki with 4 further points on the board. 65 to 410, 7 minutes just over left of this second half.
One of the trouble for Glasgow is that since at least the middle of the second half, they're quite making too many mistakes to be able to compete versus Helsinki, I think.
I think we're back in that situation where they are under a lot of pressure to perform, maybe pressure from themselves to perform and meet the expectations they had coming into this tournament. And that can sometimes make you do those high tariff moves.
And Nutila was jamming for Helsinki is being sent to the penalty box for a cutting. Therefore, it's going to be a power jam for Glasgow and number 2, Jess Iskar. Having the opportunity maybe to take the lead first.
Jessie Scar just looking for an in on the Helsinki triangle of doom.
And she's trying to get on the outside, but Helsinki blockers are standing still.
I think at this point she's looking for an out of play call. Sarah Cohen doing a great job of bridging. She's joined by number 28, Nina Ures.
But she keeps on struggling.
I don't think she's struggling. She's pushing there. Fred, she is pushing forward. Unfortunately, the rest of the pack now able to catch up.
Oh, she's taking the inside and takes the leads. And finally she deserves, after all that push from her at the out of turn 1. She asks her pack to skate forward, and she calls it off.
It took nearly 1.5 minutes to pick up lead there, but that was a testament to Glasgow and the tenacity of number 2, Jessie Scar, that she just kept on pushing.
Once again, as I said earlier, Scottish courage.
I just think of whiskey when you say that. So I'm pretty sure they're not filled with whiskey. Perhaps Iron Brew.
And obviously drink responsibly. And this is Helsinki taking the lead on that 15th jam of the second half with number 39, Majorina from Helsinki and Team Finland also.
789 general strike for Glasgow, escorted to the outside line. She's going to be recycled right the way back as Helsinki put 5 points on the board.
5 minutes to go before the end of that game, and still Majorina leading that jam and scoring all the points for the Yellows. Impressive jammers they have still. Don't you think, Beatrix?
I think everybody's impressive.
Yeah.
I think anybody who puts on a pair of skates is impressive. But right now, definitely Helsinki are being the beasts of this track. General Strike recycle back once again. Number 455 of Helsinki, Demina, just showing her the door to the outside line.
Oh, good defending by Fever on Majorina, recycling her to the back. And once again, Fever is preventing Majorina from passing.
Gives a little shirt whip to General Strike as well. Doesn't quite work out for her, but General Strike with only one to pass. Joined out by 404. Oh, I'm going to say this so wrong. Sumoian. Oh, General Strike with a cut track penalty. She's off to sit in that penalty box.
And this is the end of the jam. That means that Helsinki is going to start the next jam in a power jam situation.
Well, let's check in with those scores. Helsinki 434, Glasgow 65. And if you've only just joined us, where have you been? I am the lovely Beatrix, joined by Shut the Fred Up. And so we've got 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes just over left of this fourth game. One more game to come.
And this is going to be Crime City, the locals, versus Detroit. And it's going to start in a bit more than 30 minutes for the last game of Saturday. And stay tuned for tomorrow. You still have 5 other games tomorrow. London versus Glasgow, Crime City versus Helsinki, Stockholm versus Glasgow again, Helsinki versus Detroit, and finally London versus Crime City, the last game on Sunday.
I mean, if I was at home, I probably just wouldn't get dressed for the entire weekend. I would be in my pants watching roller derby all weekend. I could do that here as well, but the live stream prevents it, Fred.
Exactly, and if you don't know what to do lying in your bed watching derby, you can still send a message on Twitter to #talk2 SmackDown.
But please don't show us any pictures of you in your pants. Please.
And in the meantime, you have Helsinki staying on the track for number 156, Mia, on a no pass.
General Strike being released from the box. She's ready for some action, but Mia just dancing up the inside line takes 4 points for Helsinki.
And she calls it off with great gestures. 2 minutes and 52 seconds to go before the end of that game. Helsinki 442 points, Glasgow 65. 3 blockers for Glasgow on the track, 4 blockers for Helsinki on the track. I can't see who's going to jam.
Well, that's number 42, Marshall Lawless for Glasgow.
And I think that's Taru Suxelin, number 101 for Helsinki, if I'm not mistaken.
Team timeout called by Helsinki.
And once again, it's quite unusual they're having their team timeout right on the track.
You know, sometimes wherever it's got to be, it's got to be. Just get right in there and do it on the track.
I
Why
think it
not?
should be put in golden letters about everyone's bets.
Bench coach Yori is, I don't know, it looks inspirational even from here. I kind of want to high five from him just every day of my life. I feel like I could do great things if he was my bench coach for life.
And we get back to the game, as you could hear with the whistle. So it's Marshall Lawless jamming for Glasgow with 1 blocker down for the Blacks. And yes, number 101, Taru Suxelin for Helsinki.
2.5 minutes left of this game. Detroit and Crime warming up in the wings.
With a beautiful Ninja Turtle legging from Iris Suominen.
Well, Helsinki do run on turtle power, and right now is no different. 101, Texilian out of the pack fairly quickly, but Marshall Lawless having a stellar game, chasing her down. Texilian calls off the jam, picks up 2 points. Unfortunately, Lawless didn't pick up any, but she did manage to avoid Rocky.
That's why Texilian didn't want to take any risk in Glasgow scoring. That's why she was forced to call that jam off.
Great work there by Lawless.
And it's Nutila for Helsinki jamming on the next jam.
And that's number 2, Jessie Scarr for Glasgow.
Our full configuration for both packs. And it's Helsinki taking the lead on number... No, it's not Nutila, sorry. It was number 22, Malou.
Malou showing off her fancy footwork.
Managed to get through it and scoring another 5 for the Yellows. Ooh, Malou on the outside. Quite clever move from her. Taking another 5 for Helsinki.
Jessie Scarr, though, off to the penalty box. Cut track penalty. So power jam in what could be the final jam for Helsinki.
But Malou still wants to score more points, and she has just scored 5 more and still skating. Oh, nice hit from Glasgow, but doesn't prevent Malou from getting to the outside and scoring other points, and she calls that jam off.
Yeah, great work there by Sinclair, and also number 823, Cara Viola in the pack. Beckenheimen also joined them as a pivot.
And I think we're going to have one last final jam on that game. And it's going to be this time Vaput Nutila for Helsinki.
Jessie Scarr standing in the penalty box for Glasgow.
Nutila is going to try to take the lead before Jessie Scarr comes back, and this is what she does.
Fantastic work by Helsinki, just clearing the inside line for their jammer to get through nice and easy. Sarah McMillan, Phoenix, and number 40, that's Watson, out on track for Glasgow. Sarah McMillan almost catching Nutella, doesn't quite land it the way she'd like, comes back to offer up some support for Jess. Jess with 1 to pass now.
It's definitely going to be the last jam of the game.
Fantastic work by Glory.
Jessie Scarr is pushing her way forwards, trying to get through it.
Glory and Watson all over the Helsinki jammer. 507 Phoenix also in attendance, chasing forward, but runs out of track. Jessie Scarr coming round.
Ooh.
Went to take a bit of an apex swing, doesn't land it the way she'd like to. Knocked out or inside and forced to be recycled back.
Jam still continues.
Nutila
scoring another 5 for Helsinki.
Jessie Scarr still attacking that wall. Nice move to get around the inside line. 4 further points picked up for Glasgow.
Nutila scoring another 4, sorry, this time.
Sarah McMillan, though, off to the penalty box. 507 Phoenix also joining micro pack for Glasgow in the final few seconds, but Watson not giving up, challenging Helsinki all the way.
And this is the end of that game for the victory of Helsinki over Glasgow. For the moment, 485 for the Yellows from Helsinki to 73 for the Blacks of Glasgow.
So fantastic 4th game here at SmackDown on the first day of this WFTDA recognised European tournament.
that was quite hard for Glasgow, even if they sometimes showed some good defending, and the jammers sometimes also were quite good. Some good key jammers, and most of all Helsinki blockers were too strong for Glasgow to compete in that game.
But fantastic. Next it is Detroit versus Crime City. That's due to start at 6 p.m. our time. Or did I just make that up, Fred?
No, it's 6 p.m. exactly in 25 minutes. The last game of the first day of this European SMACKDOWN WFTDA recognized tournaments. Crime City, the locals from Malmö, against Detroit.
Both teams, as we said earlier, have played already today. Crime City with the 536-point win against Glasgow this morning. They scored 46, and Detroit losing to London 97-345. So what a way to end day one of this tournament. I have been the lovely Beatrix.
And I have been Shut the Fred Up from Paris. And it was such a pleasure to announce with you on stream for the first time. Don't blush. Don't blush.
We will see you tomorrow for some more roller derby action. But do stay tuned for that Crime versus Detroit game coming up.
Au revoir.